hello, boys and girls. Again, it's glitching. Do not know why it does that. It starts so strange. Okay, so our recount lesson 3 was all about looking at verbs because a part of our recount success criteria was to include powerful verbs. So now we are required to include powerful adjectives. And exactly for this, it's exactly the same reason, boys and girls. If you are retelling, excuse me. If you are retelling a story or a past event or experience to a friend, or you are writing about this past experience, we don't want to bore people. We don't want them to lose interest. You want them to be interested in about what you are telling them because it's personal to you and it's important to you. If we do not use really good, powerful words then and language, then people will lose interest and they don't really take into account and they don't feel part of your story. You want to make them feel like they were with you on this wonderful journey or whatever experience you are discussing at that point in time. So powerful verbs are important and powerful adjectives are important. Now, I know that you all know what verbs and adjectives are, but I feel that it's something we do need to revisit because sometimes we do tend to use maybe adjectives. You do use adjectives, but maybe not as powerful adjectives as we can. And now that we're getting into primary 7, we should be expecting, raising our standards in terms of our vocabulary. So, sorry about that, boys and girls. Right, so what is an adjective? Right, I'm not going to insult you. I know you know what an adjective is, okay? It's a describing word that can either come before a noun. So here's an example, come before a noun. The pupils did some remarkable work. And it can come after the form of a verb. The pupils' work was remarkable. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you to talk to partners or write it down or anything like that. I think that's a bit of an insult. I know that you know that. Right, so can you spot the powerful adjective in this sentence, okay? So they have used a few, now I don't want you to write this down, I just want you to see if you could spy it, okay? I'll read through it, see if you could figure out which words are powerful adjectives. Remember, they come before a noun or after a verb. The menacing earthquake shook the ground. Running past collapsing buildings, the people were terrified. The calm charity worker tried to point the anxious villagers towards a place of safety. Right, okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds to see if you can spot the adjectives, starting now. Okay, boys and girls, not sure if that was 30 seconds, didn't have my timer on, but I was getting bored waiting. So, you should have found menacing. Well done if you found that. Collapsing. Terrified. Calm. Anxious. Okay, so which more powerful words could replace the adjective to improve this sentence? Thousands of miles away, a good island lay in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, I will have uploaded an adjective word mat. You can use this to help you do this job. So just like our verb activity, I want you to write down the sentence, and then underneath, I want you to give me 3 words that could replace the word good. Pause the video now. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. Right, I am going to give you some examples with the adjective because I feel that being exposed to lots of different types of vocabulary, it will help you with your hot task. So here are some of the words that you can use. I'll just give you a few minutes to look through it. Exquisite, splendid, marvellous, magnificent, glorious, breathtaking and superb. Okay, next one. you're going to write the sentence down, and then you're going to give me 3 adjectives underneath this sentence in bullet points to replace the word. As the film reached its dramatic conclusion, the crowd were shocked. You're going to replace shocked. Pause the video now. Okay, welcome back, boys and girls. I am going to let you see some of the possible solutions that you could have come up with. Okay. It's also good to point out, boys and girls, a thesaurus is really good for this as well. So if you have a thesaurus in the house, great. But if you don't, you could type in the words happy in Google and it's synonyms. So you would just type in synonyms or another word for happy, and all these other words could come up, and you could choose whatever one you want if you don't like my word mat. So that's another method of improving your words. Also, boys and girls, sometimes I wouldn't have a great word when I'm writing. I won't have the great word to hand, but I just like to get my ideas down. So that's why I was talking in the editing from our last writing task. If you go back and you see an adjective and you go, gosh, that's really boring, I really want to change that, then you could do that in your editing part of your hot task, and that's when a thesaurus would come in and you improve your writing. That's why it's really important to do a second draft. So that's me rambling on again, apologise. Right, okay, so you're going to write this into your jotter, and then you are going to write 3 adjectives underneath that will replace the word happy. So the happy lotto winner jumped for joy at her multi-million-pound win. Well, I would be jumping for joy. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, so here are some of the words that you could have used. Oh, sorry. You know, I mean, like, happy was quite boring for that. I mean, if you won the lottery, I don't think you would just be happy. You would definitely be a little bit more of these words, I think. Okay, the next one. You write it in your jotter. The monster's pathetic attempts at hiding are silly. Okay, bullet points, 3 other adjectives underneath this sentence. Off you go and do that now. Okay, welcome back, boys and girls. And here are some words that you could have... Oh, didn't give you much time to look at that. Okay, here are some of the words that you could have used. Okay, right, now we are on to our next task. Can you spot all of the boring adjectives in this passage and improve them? Choose powerful adjectives that will create a clear picture for the reader. Right, so boys and girls, what I want you to do is I want you to go and write all of this little paragraph in your jotter. I want you to write it like we did with the last lesson. And I want you to underline all of the adjectives that are a bit boring that you think, could be better. Then, with a different coloured pencil or pen or whatever in your remote learning jotter, you are going to use the word banks that I've given you, or you could use the method of going on the internet and finding better words. This is all editing, boys and girls. This is a skill of editing. So this is really good that you're getting practice this, because when you are asked to do a second draft, this is what you should be doing with your own writing, okay? So, taking a big gulp of air, the tired climber dug his ice tool into the hard surface of the mountain. His hands and feet were cold, and he wasn't sure if he was going to make it. Would this dangerous cliff face really defeat him? So you're going to write that all into your remote learning jotter. You're going to underline all of the adjectives. Then you're going to decide which ones are boring and which ones you can improve. Pause the video now. Okay, boys and girls, here are some of the answers here that I would have maybe changed. So big, bit boring, tired, hard, cold, and dangerous. And you could have changed big to any of these. Words down below. Some ideas. Okay. Well done if you got some of the ones that I found. Okie dokie. A powerful adjective choice can really improve the effectiveness of a sentence and add meaning for the reader. So our new neighbours are. So complete the sentence by adding an ambitious and powerful adjective that gives the reader a clear picture of the new neighbours. Okay, so the new neighbours could be anything. They could be good, they could be bad. So how are you going to describe them? So underneath all of your work so far, you're going to write our new neighbours are, and then you're going to use a powerful adjective. Okay? Pause the video now. Okay, here are some ideas. If you don't know what they mean, you should be using this time to extend your vocabulary and finding out what they mean. Okay, sentence 2. Suddenly he let out a blank laugh. So what I want you to do is I want you to go and find an ambitious or powerful adjective using a word mat. You might actually fill it in. What I would find, suddenly you let it out, and you might fill it with a boring adjective initially. But if you think, oh, that's a bit boring, that's fine. Use your skills now to go on the internet and find out other words for that boring adjective. You will come across a more powerful one. Or use a thesaurus. Pause the video now. Okay. So now, this is your last task. I know I've asked you to do a lot of writing today, but it's really important that we practice all this vocabulary. And I'm hoping that when it gets to your hot task, you will just do it. It's like handwriting. The more you practice using powerful adjectives and more descriptive language and more powerful verbs, then the easier it will be when it comes to your hot task. So what you want to do is you're going to write this. Sorry, boys and girls, been talking a lot today. You're going to write this all the text in this pink box. You can leave the blank if you want. Just focus on getting it written out. And then I want you to fill in the blanks. You can fill in the blanks with a coloured pencil if you want. Even if you want to if you've got a laptop, you can type in snipping tool and you can snip just the pink box and then write over on top of it on a template. It's up to you. If you know how to do this an easier way rather than having to write it all out, that's fine. But if you don't have any idea of that, we're going to have to just stick to writing it in the remote learning jotter. And to be honest, it will improve your handwriting the more we practice our letters and our joins, okay? So you're going to write this out and you're going to fill in the blanks with powerful adjectives. Then once you've done that, you're going to take a photograph and send all of your work to me. Okay, thank you.